Dear spectators of the human tragedy, in the shadows, where arrogance dances with delusion, lies the birth of ruin. Power, intoxicating and deceptive, creeps into the mind like a thief in the night, whispering sweet nothings of invincibility. I built my empire on the crumbling foundations of lies, each brick laid with the fervor of a madman, convinced that I was untouchable. This is the illusion of power, an exquisite mirage that blinds the eyes to the truth lurking just beyond the horizon. I wore my arrogance like a crown, a throne forged from the very fabric of deceit. The world saw the glimmering facade, the grand narratives spun to elevate my stature. They stood in awe, unaware that behind the curtain, I was merely a puppet, dancing to the strings of my own folly. Each lie was a note in a symphony of chaos, a melody that lulled me into a false sense of security. As I ascended, I built a throne of lies, one that sparkled under the spotlight but was hollow within. Yet, what is a throne if not a weight upon the shoulders? The burden of deceit grew heavier with every passing moment, pressing down like an iron fist. I thought myself a king, yet I was merely a jester, trapped in a court of my own making. The lies piled high, a mountain of betrayal that I had crafted, until they threatened to bury me alive. Each secret whispered into the void echoed back with a cacophony of guilt, a relentless reminder of the chasm that opened beneath my feet. Isolation became my only companion. The more I grasped for power, the further I drifted from reality, from the warmth of genuine connection. The world outside faded into a blur, and I became a ghost haunting the halls of my own creation. Friends turned to shadows, truths transformed into phantoms, and I stood alone, a king in a crumbling kingdom, surrounded by the ruins of my own arrogance. In my quest for dominance, I had severed the ties that bound me to humanity, and in doing so, I lost everything that mattered. The darkness of my own making enveloped me, a suffocating cloak of loneliness. I had built my empire on the backs of others, feeding on their trust and admiration, only to spit in the face of authenticity. Each lie became a chain, binding me to the throne I had constructed, a throne that offered no solace, only a reminder of my hubris. The truth is a relentless tide, and it does not forget. It washes over the shore of my arrogance, dragging me into the depths of despair. As I stand here, I realize that my arrogance was a mirage, a fleeting shadow that danced just out of reach. The weight of my deceit has become unbearable, and the echoes of my lies reverberate in the silence of my solitude. I built a throne, yes, but it has become a grave, a tomb for the remnants of my dignity, buried beneath the weight of my own making. In the end, what remains is not the power I sought, but a haunting reflection of a soul ensnared by its own ambition. The darkness I embraced has become my prison, and the throne I thought would elevate me now serves as a reminder of the cost of arrogance. I stand at the precipice, staring into the abyss, where the truth waits, silent, unforgiving, and relentless. In the dim light of ambition, I soared high, intoxicated by the sweet nectar of success. Oh, how the taste of victory ignited a fire within me, a blaze that consumed all caution and reason. Moments of triumph flickered like stars in an endless night, each one a testament to my prowess, a validation of my grandiosity. But amidst the sparkles, shadows lurked, waiting for the moment I would let my guard down. Triumph became my trud, and I was the willing puppet, dancing to the rhythm of my own overconfidence. Each conquest felt like a crown placed upon my head, shining brightly as I stood atop the world I had created. My victories echoed through the halls of my ambition, reverberating like thunder, drowning out the whispers of doubt that tried to creep in. I was a titan, standing on a pedestal of my own making, blind to the cracks forming beneath me. The intoxicating nature of success wrapped around me like a shroud, blinding me to the truth that loomed just out of sight. Yet, within the haze of euphoria, warning signs flickered like distant flames, begging for my attention. Ignored, they became mere footnotes in the epic tale I spun, a tale woven with threads of arrogance and pride. I brushed them aside, believing that I was invincible, that the universe conspired to keep me aloft. Each brush-off was a nail in the coffin of my downfall, a reminder that the higher one climbs, the further one can fall. But I was too enraptured by the highs to see the impending collapse, too consumed by the rush of power to heed the cries of reality. As the victories piled up, so did the weight of my hubris. I stood on a mountain of success, but beneath it lay the fragile ground of truth, cracking and crumbling with each passing moment. The very ambition that had propelled me forward now twisted like a serpent, coiling tighter around my throat. I was the architect of my own demise, overlooking the subtle tremors beneath the surface. Each triumph became a ticking clock, counting down to the inevitable moment when the facade would shatter and I would be left exposed. The intoxicating nature of success, like a sweet poison, clouded my judgment. I reveled in the applause, the admiration, and the fleeting high that came with each achievement. But as the cheers faded and the lights dimmed, a hollow echo remained, a reminder of the emptiness that success could not fill. I was a king in a kingdom built on sand, and with every wave that crashed upon my shore, I felt the ground shift beneath me. In the end, the highs of ambition became a double-edged sword, cutting deeper with each swing. The success I once embraced now felt like a cruel joke, a mockery of the very essence of power. I had climbed the mountain, only to stand on the precipice, staring into the abyss of my own making. The darker shades of ambition revealed themselves, whispering truths that I had long ignored. The moment of realization struck like lightning, illuminating the depths of my arrogance and the inevitable fall that awaited me. And so, as I reflect on those moments of triumph, I can't help but feel the weight of the irony. The very ambitions that once lifted me now bind me in chains of my own creation. The intoxicating highs have transformed into haunting lows, and in the silence that follows, I am left to ponder the cost of my arrogance. The throne I once perceived as my fortress now stands as a reminder of the fragility of power, a testament to the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of my ambition. In the dim light of shattered dreams, the cracks began to show. Each fissure whispered secrets of a reality I had long evaded, a reality that clawed at the edges of my opulent fortress. My throne, once a symbol of power, now trembled under the weight of its own lies. The echoes of my arrogance danced mockingly in the shadows, as if the universe conspired to unravel the tapestry I had woven with threads of deceit. The first sign was subtle, a flicker of doubt in the eyes of those who once adored me. They began to see the cracks, the imperfections I had meticulously hidden behind layers of bravado. I stood, a colossus of arrogance, but beneath my gilded exterior lay a fragile empire, destined to collapse under the pressure of its own foundation. Like a grand illusionist, I had conjured a spectacle that dazzled the masses, yet the performance was unraveling, thread by thread. Confrontation with reality arrived like a storm, fierce and unrelenting. The consequences of my lies surged forth, crashing against me like waves against a cliffside. I had danced with shadows, thinking I could manipulate them, but they returned with a vengeance. Each lie was a stone, and I found myself drowning beneath the weight of my own making. The thrill of deception faded, replaced by the chilling grip of truth that wrapped around my throat, squeezing tighter with every passing moment. The cycle of pride and fall revealed itself, a relentless spiral that echoed through the corridors of my mind. Each rise was followed by a fall, a cruel dance choreographed by the very hubris I had embraced. I had played God, but the divine mantle slipped through my fingers, leaving me stranded in the chaos of my own creation. The cycle spiraled, dragging me down into an abyss where my own reflection became a haunting reminder of the man I once believed myself to be. In the depths of this darkness, I faced the mirror of my own making, shards reflecting a twisted version of who I had become. The whispers of my past triumphs turned into a cacophony of regret, drowning out the victorious symphony I once reveled in. I was both king and jester, a figure trapped within the paradox of my own design. The weight of my arrogance pressed heavily upon my chest, a relentless reminder of the cost of ambition unchecked. Solitude wrapped itself around me like a shroud, isolating me from the very connections I had taken for granted. The laughter of friends faded into echoes, replaced by the chilling silence of betrayal not from others, but from the self I had betrayed in my pursuit of greatness. I had built walls to protect my fragile ego, only to find that these very walls had become my prison. The freedom I once craved transformed into a suffocating embrace, leaving me adrift in a sea of my own making. As I stood in the shadows of my crumbling empire, I understood the darkest truth of all. The lies I had spun, the arrogance I had nurtured, were the very chains that bound me. The descent into darkness was not merely a fall, it was a revelation, a harsh illumination of the consequences of my actions. Each misstep, each denial of reality, carved deeper into the fabric of my existence, leaving scars that would never fade. In this abyss, the flickers of hope began to ignite, a twisted sense of justice emerging from the ashes of my pride. The darkness whispered lessons, each one a testament to the strength that could be born from brokenness. Accepting my frailties became the first step toward a new understanding of power, one that was no longer steeped in arrogance, but in the raw authenticity of human experience. The descent had begun, but it was not the end. In the heart of darkness, I found the remnants of resilience waiting to be forged anew. The echoes of my past would linger, but in their haunting melody, I found a strange solace, a reminder that even in the depths of despair, there is a chance for rebirth. The journey through the shadows would be long, but it was a path toward understanding, toward confronting the very essence of who I had become. In the shattered remnants of my once mighty reign, reality took on a cruel shape, reflecting back a visage that I barely recognized. Each shard of that broken mirror whispered tales of my past, tales that danced between glory and ruin. The vibrant colors of triumph faded into a muted palette of despair, where the echoes of my grand deception reverberated like a haunting lullaby. I gazed into those fragments, each piece a reminder of the illusions I had crafted, an artist painting a masterpiece of lies. Yet now, those lies had become my prison, confining me within walls that I erected with such pride. The haunting nature of deceit clung to me like a fog, suffocating and relentless. It whispered in my ear, a constant reminder of the truths I had buried beneath layers of arrogance. Guilt coiled around my heart, an uninvited guest that refused to leave. Memories of betrayal, not from others, but from my own aspirations, clawed at my sanity. The laughter of celebration turned into a cacophony of regret, drowning out the echoes of victory I once cherished. I had spun a web of lies, but now I was ensnared in it, each strand a reminder of my own foolishness. Isolation wrapped its icy fingers around me, squeezing until I could hardly breathe. The very connections I had taken for granted withered away, leaving behind the desolate landscape where companionship once flourished. Friends became mere phantoms of the past, their laughter replaced by the chilling silence of abandonment. I had built walls to guard my ego, yet those walls became my tomb, encasing me in solitude. Each moment of silence echoed louder than any cheer, a testament to the friendships lost in the pursuit of my own glory. In this solitude, a dark clarity emerged. I faced the reality of my choices, the weight of my arrogance pressing down like a leaden blanket. I was both the architect and the victim of my downfall, a tragic hero trapped in a narrative of my own design. The lies I told, once sweet as honey, now tasted bitter on my tongue. Each deception piled upon the last, forming a mountain that loomed over me. What once felt like power now felt like a curse, a heavy burden dragging me deeper into the abyss. Reflections in that shattered mirror revealed not only my flaws, but also the potential for redemption hidden within the chaos. Each crack was a lesson, a painful reminder that strength arises from understanding one's own weaknesses. As the shadows loomed, I began to see the flickers of a new path, one illuminated by the harsh light of reality. The lies might have built my throne, but they also paved the way for my reckoning. In the depths of this darkness, the echoes of my past resonated with newfound significance. They transformed from haunting memories into guiding whispers, urging me to confront the consequences of my actions. The solitude that once felt suffocating now sparked a fire within me, a desire to rise from the ashes of my own making. No longer would I hide behind the mask of arrogance. I would embrace the truth, however painful it might be. The weight of my deceit became the foundation upon which I would rebuild. The descent into darkness was not merely a fall into despair, it was the crucible in which I would forge my resilience. With each step forward, I peeled back the layers of my arrogance, revealing the raw, unfiltered essence of who I truly was. The lies may have built a throne, but they also prepared a grave that would serve as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition. As I stand amidst the ruins of my past, I understand that the echoes of my lies will forever linger. However, I no longer fear them. Instead, I welcome them as reminders of the path I have traveled, a path fraught with danger but rich in lessons. The journey through the shadows is not an end but a beginning, a chance to forge a new identity from the failures of the old. In this darkness, I find the strength to rise again, not as a king cloaked in arrogance, but as a survivor molded by the very struggles I once sought to escape. In the shadows where once stood the gilded illusion of my power, I now confront the raw essence of brokenness. The thrones that once crowned me in glory have crumbled, leaving only the dust of ambition in their wake. This dust clings to my skin, a reminder that even the mightiest can fall, and from that fall, a strange kind of strength begins to unfurl. It is in this desolation that I find a twisted sense of justice, a justice not bestowed by the world, but forged from the depths of my own ruin. Brokenness is not a pitfall, it is a crucible where the fire of my failures transforms me. Each scar etched into my soul tells a story of hubris, a tale of what happens when arrogance reigns supreme. In this darkness, I discover the beauty of frailty, the elegance of vulnerability. The moment I accepted my weaknesses, I also embraced the reality of my humanity. I am no longer the untouchable puppeteer of fate. I am a flawed being, grappling with the consequences of my actions. This acceptance does not weaken me, it empowers me in a way that my previous arrogance never could. The birth of resilience emerges from this acceptance, like a phoenix rising from the ashes of its own funeral pyre. With every lie I spun, I created a noose around my own neck, but now, as I loosen that grip, I can breathe again. There is a strange exhilaration in facing the truth of who I am. The power I once sought in false narratives now finds its roots in authenticity. I find my footing in the rubble, rediscovering a strength I never knew I had. It is a power that does not heed the applause of the crowd, but rather revels in the quiet conviction of self-awareness. This journey through the shadows reveals a harsh truth. The line between power and vulnerability is as thin as a whisper. The more I grasped for control, the more I slipped into a chasm of delusion. Each act of arrogance, each triumphant moment, was but a step further into that abyss. But now, I reclaim my narrative, not as a king, but as a survivor. I emerge not to rule, but to understand. The darkness that once threatened to consume me becomes a canvas on which I paint my rebirth. In the quiet of my solitude, I confront the specters of my past. They do not haunt me, they teach me. Each ghost carries a lesson, a shard of wisdom earned through pain. The echoes of my lies reverberate, not as chains, but as the soundtrack to my awakening. I listen closely, for within those echoes lie the truths I once feared to confront. They are not merely reminders of my failures, they are the pillars of my newfound resolve. As I stand in this landscape of desolation, I feel the weight of my past lifting, replaced by the clarity of purpose. No longer shackled by the need for validation, I can finally see the horizon ahead. It is not a path paved with gold, but a rugged trail, rich with the potential for growth. Here, In this unvarnished reality, I rediscover the essence of true power, the power of authenticity, of resilience, of facing the darkness without flinching. This is not the end of my story, but a powerful new chapter. The grave of lies may have buried my throne, but from that grave, I rise anew. I understand that real justice is not in the punishment of those who wronged me, but in the reclamation of my own narrative. As I embrace my flaws, I become a force to be reckoned with, not because of the throne I once held, but because of the strength I now possess. The darkness is not my enemy, it is the forge that shapes me. In this stark reality, I find a clarity that illuminates my path. I step forward, not as a king, but as a warrior who understands that the true battle lies within. The echoes of my past will forever linger, but they will no longer define me. I am reborn from the ashes, armed with the lessons of my journey, ready to carve a new destiny, not in arrogance, but in authenticity. In the abyss of shadows, where echoes of arrogance linger like bitter ghosts, I invite you to gaze into the mirror of your own reflection. There, amidst the cracks and imperfections, is a truth you may dread to confront. The illusion of control can be a powerful drug, intoxicating and blinding, making you believe you are the master of your fate. Yet, in the pursuit of power, many stumble into a dark trap, forgetting that the ground beneath them is merely an illusion, a facade that can crumble at any moment. Consider the weight of your pride. It is a heavy crown, adorned with the jewels of your achievements, yet beneath it lies a fragile skull, one misstep away from shattering. Each triumph, each moment of glory, feeds the beast of arrogance, whispering sweet nothings into your ear. But listen closely, for there lurks a truth: the more you chase it, the more it eludes you. Like a mirage, the power you seek slips through your fingers, leaving you grasping its shadows and echoes of what could have been. Awareness of this truth brings forth a haunting question: what lies do you sustain to keep your facade intact? These lies, much like a noose, constrict your very existence, suffocating the light that once illuminated your path. You may find solace in them, but they weave a web of isolation, drawing you further into a chasm of solitude. The higher you elevate your false self, the steeper the fall when reality comes crashing in. The bricks of your grand illusion become the stones of your own grave, and when the dust settles, you find yourself alone, adrift in a sea of your own making. Yet, this descent into darkness is not without its lessons. As you strip away the layers of deceit, you uncover the raw, unvarnished truth of your humanity. It is in this process of unearthing that you can begin to understand the cyclical nature of ambition and downfall. The rising tide of pride often blinds us to the warnings that ripple beneath the surface. The cracks in our armor may whisper softly, but we turn a deaf ear, intoxicated by the sweet taste of success. Each moment ignored is a step closer to implosion. Now, as you stand on the precipice of self-awareness, ask yourself, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue to paint your existence with the colors of arrogance, or will you embrace the shadows as teachers? The choice is yours, but remember, the darkness can be a powerful ally. It can forge resilience in the fires of failure, transforming you from a mere survivor into a force of nature. As you contemplate your own journey, understand that vulnerability is not a weakness, it is the birthplace of true strength. In accepting your flaws, you dismantle the fortress of lies that surrounds you. You emerge not as a conqueror, but as a warrior, scarred yet stronger, armed with the wisdom of experience. This is the power of authenticity, the ability to face the truth without flinching, to rise from the ashes of your own making. In this moment of reckoning, let the echoes of your past guide you, not as chains that bind, but as a roadmap to redemption. The journey ahead may be steep, but it is in the struggle that character is forged. The ghosts of your arrogance may haunt you, but they are also reminders of the lessons learned. Embrace them, for they have shaped you into a being capable of transformation. So, I challenge you, confront your own pride. Unearth the lies that lurk in the corners of your mind, and face the darkness with courage. As you do, you will find that the throne you once sought is not the destination, but merely a stepping stone to a deeper understanding of power, one that comes from within, untainted by arrogance. In this awakening, you will discover that the true battle lies not in the external world, but in the intricate maze of your own soul. In the shrouded depths of ambition's grave, where the thrones of lies crumble into dust, we find the remnants of a once mighty illusion. Power, that seductive specter, dances in the shadows, mocking those who dare to tread its treacherous path. The air thickens with the scent of decay, the very essence of arrogance festers in the silence, a reminder that the higher you soar, the harder you fall. The thrones we built, adorned with the trappings of success, have morphed into graves where our dreams lie entombed, suffocated by the weight of our own deceit. Consider the duality of power, a treacherous game where every king stands on the edge of a precipice. In one hand, you hold the scepter of control, in the other, the cold steel of vulnerability. It is a delicate balance, one that many fail to grasp. The moment you believe yourself invincible, you unwittingly sign your own death warrant. Each act of arrogance, each denial of your frailty, chisels away at the foundation of your reign, until it crumbles beneath the weight of your hubris. The grave of lies beckons, a haunting reminder of what was lost. Those false narratives, spun with threads of deceit, create a landscape where solitude reigns supreme. Friends become phantoms, allies turn to ashes, and the silence of betrayal echoes in your ears. You may sit upon a throne, but it is a throne of bones, your own and those you have crushed in your rise to power. It is a lonely empire, ruled by fear and isolation. You wear your pride like a crown, yet it weighs heavy on your brow, a constant reminder of your transgressions. As you stand in this desolation, the question looms: what remains when the lies are stripped away? What is left when the applause fades into silence? The answer lies in the raw truth of your existence. It is a bitter pill to swallow, a confrontation with the self that you have long avoided. The shadows that once comforted you now reveal the frailty you sought to conceal. In this darkness, however, lies the potential for rebirth. The grave does not signify the end, rather, it is the fertile ground from which resilience can blossom. Awakening from this slumber of arrogance demands a reckoning. The ghosts of those you have wronged linger, their whispers a constant reminder of the cost of your ambition. They are not merely echoes of the past, they are the catalysts for change, urging you to face the truth of your journey. Embrace the scars of your misdeeds, for they are the badges of survival. Each wound tells a story, each failure a lesson. This is not a tale of despair, but a narrative of transformation. The call to awakening is not an easy one. It requires peeling back the layers of pride and confronting the vulnerabilities that make you human. In this crucible of self-discovery, you will find that true power does not stem from domination, but from understanding yourself, your flaws, your humanity. The throne you once desired may not be the pinnacle of success, but rather a stepping stone to a deeper connection with those around you. As you navigate this treacherous terrain, remember this: the journey toward authenticity is littered with the remnants of arrogance. The grave of lies is a silent witness to your past, but it need not be your future. Each step you take toward honesty is a step away from the isolation that arrogance breeds. In the embrace of truth, you will find liberation. So rise from the ashes of your own making. Let the darkness that once consumed you become the forge that shapes your character. The throne of lies may have offered a fleeting sense of power, but it is the acceptance of your flaws and the courage to face the truth that will ultimately lead you to true strength. In the end, the echoes of your past will not bind you, they will guide you toward a life lived in authenticity, where the shadows no longer haunt but illuminate the path ahead. Share this message if you believe that true strength rises from the ashes of our own mistakes. Leave your comment about a moment when you embraced your shadows and emerged stronger, and subscribe for more raw reflections that challenge the status quo. Remember, It's in the darkest depths that we uncover our most powerful selves. Let's own that darkness together.